The Year to There podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Year to There, it's time to start the fun.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Year to There podcast, Walt Disney World Word of the Week. I'm your host, Phil Gramlich, and this is a complimentary podcast to my extremely popular, extremely famous, one-of-a-kind Ear to There podcast. And if you've ever listened to my show at all in the past, you'll know that I say all of that very, very jokingly. Okay, on these episodes of the podcast, I will bring you a different Walt Disney World word each week, and then give you tips, tricks, hints, history, all kinds of stuff about that Walt Disney World word. And right off the bat here, I have to apologize. My voice still isn't where I want it to be, but I still want to bring these podcasts out each and every week, so I hope it's not too much of a distraction for you. All right, this week's Walt Disney World Word of the Week is brought to you by the letter F. F for my favorite four-letter word in the English language, free. Yes, there are, believe it or not, a lot of free things and free activities that you can participate in while on vacation at Walt Disney World. And on this episode, I'm just going to give you some of those free things that you can take advantage of on your next vacation. So let's get right into the list, shall we? Shall we? I don't say shall we. You know what? I'm just going to leave it in there because I think it's funny. But you know what? I'm definitely not a shall we guy. But we're going to get into the list right now anyway. The first free thing that I'd like to talk about that you can get in Walt Disney World is ice water. Listen, it gets hot in Walt Disney World a lot. I think this summer, what is it, like 11 months of the year? Obviously, it's not, I'm kidding, but it's a long, hot summer, and it's hot a lot down there. So instead of spending, I think it's $3.50 at this point, $3.25 to buy a bottle of water throughout the parks, you can go to any Walt Disney World counter service or table service restaurant location and get free ice water. You can get 1 cup per person. They'll give it, you can get refills, no problem at all, free of cost. It's a nice way. And a lot of people don't really love the taste of the tap water in the Central Florida area. It's not filtered water. What I'm telling you is it's directly from the tap, what they're going to give you. So for free, you really can't beat it, to be honest. Okay, so from the free ice water, we're going to move over to at night. The Walt Disney World Resort hotels have the movies under the stars at most of the resorts. So what that means is they take a big inflatable screen outside, they set it up near the pool, near a beach, whatever, and you and your family get to lounge on the chairs, and watch, or on the grass in some of the resorts, and watch a movie for free. And when I was there last time, they were playing Zootopia, I believe, and we've seen Finding Nemo, and I watched other movies with my kids and my wife. So that's a really neat one you might want to take advantage of. It's a nice way to spend some downtime after a long day in the parks. All right, on to the next one. Over at Epcot, one of my favorite things to do, and I had to drag my family with me almost every single trip, is Club Cool in Future World. So if you're not familiar with what Club Cool is, it's presented by Coca-Cola. It's a walkthrough little exhibit where you can sample different sodas from around the world in little sample cups. You can have as much as you want. You can do it as often as you want. It's all free. And you get to experience really different flavors from the different countries all over the place and what these folks like to drink. There are a couple really, really good ones. There are a couple that aren't so good. I know that we've talked about it on the podcast before. Beverly is one that you're not going to run on to Amazon and buy a case of this stuff if you're an American like I am. But it's worth trying just to say you've done it. So I would say go to Club Cool, try it out. Also, my kids, we take our kids there, my wife and I, and I'm not somebody who gives my children soda at home. I mean, they've never actually had it outside of Club Cool. But we do let them try it in Club Cool because it's fun and it's a nice little fun thing to do. It's air conditioned. You spend 10 minutes in there tops, unless you're really, really thirsty. And then you can spend a lot more time. Okay, so the next one I have on my list of free stuff that you can do. And this is kind of an easy one. Ride the monorail, right? You don't have to pay any money for the monorail. It's free. And this came up recently in the Christmas episode, part 1 that we did. Top reasons to go to Disney World during Christmas. Because you can ride the monorail around, go to all the resorts. You could even take the monorail from the transportation and ticket center to Epcot, ride it through Epcot, and then head on back to the transportation and ticket center, if that's something you're looking to do. So yeah, you can ride past theme parks, through theme parks. You can ride through the hotels. It's a very cool thing to do. Also, the boats are free as well. The transportation boats, so the friendship boats, the ferries, stuff like that. You don't have to pay for those either. So you're free to, ride those all day if that's something you'd like to do. I really like taking the ones from Port Orleans over to downtown. Oh, that's a bad slip. To Disney Springs. I'm still not used to that yet. That's a nice little time saver, and it's a nice little ride to go from Port Orleans to Disney Springs. My next one is kind of a simple one. It's the Lays at the Polynesian Resort, or as it's now known, the Polynesian Village Resort and Bungalows, I believe. I never get the name right. Whenever Disney changes the name, I swear it takes me like 2 years to catch up. But head over there, walk in. Usually there's a cast member standing at the door, handing out lays. If it's really busy, you can go to the front desk or concierge, ask them. They almost always have lays on hand. My kids really love that. They love walking in there and getting a lay, and then walking over to the Pineapple and I outside the resort and grabbing a Dole Whip, which never has a really long line like the Aloha aisle over at Magic Kingdom does. Of course, the Dole Whip over at Pineapple and I isn't free, but if you've listened to the show before, you know I go off on a tangent sometimes. That was just a tangent. Okay, on to my next one. All of the park maps and brochures are free. You find them in the front of the parks, or you find them at down. Why do I want to keep saying downtown Disney? You find it at Disney Springs. They're great to bring home. If you're into scrapbooking at all, which I'm not, but if you're into framing things, which I am, they make a nice little thing to hang up on your wall when you get home. Kind of a fun memento from your vacation. So yeah, park guide maps and brochures. You can make a really cool collage with those if you'd like when you got home. It's a neat idea. Okay, my next free thing, celebration buttons. If you're celebrating anything while on your vacation to Walt Disney World, make sure you stop by the guest relations desk or office. They will have the buttons there. You can get the just married button, the birthday button, the I'm celebrating, and then you can write whatever you're celebrating on that button. They're free and they're nice to wear because the cast members will actually acknowledge you throughout the day, which is kind of cool. And not just cast members, too. Other guests, a lot of times, will also say congratulations or happy birthday, that kind of thing. So there's another free little thing you can do. All right, on to the next one. Pictures taken by Disney PhotoPass photographers. Of course, the ones that actually go onto your PhotoPass and onto your Memory Maker account, you have to pay for. But those PhotoPass photographers will also take pictures of you with your camera. Just hand them your camera, hand them your iPhone, ask them to take a picture of you. They're professional photographers. They have no problem doing it. It'll probably turn out a little bit better than you could do yourself, and you will end up in the picture as well. So that's a really great free one to remember. Okay, my next one is over at Epcot in the World Showcase. They have the KidCot stations, which is KIDCOT. I know it's kind of clever. It's like a play on Epcot. But they will offer your kids free crafts to make in the World Showcase pavilions. So it's a nice way to kind of take a little break. Your kids can do some coloring, do some, creative things. So we do that sometimes with our kids when it's super hot, when it's super busy. Those stations usually won't be all that busy, so it's a nice little time to take a break with your kids, with your family. All right, my next one is at certain resorts, they will have campfires like Wilderness Lodge or Fort Wilderness, where the s'mores aren't free. You can buy s'more kits, or you can bring your own stuff to make s'mores. They will have a campfire. You can sit with a cast member, roast your s'mores over the fire. It's very cool. And again, it's free, so it's a nice way to cap off your night, especially after you've been sweating and walking around the parks all day. Okay, for my next one, I'm going over to Animal Kingdom Lodge. And the animal viewing spots over there are awesome. Again, completely free. You can stand in the lobbies of either Kidani Village or Jambo House and check out the animals. Love zebras. They have giraffes and wildebeests and other different kind of animals. It's, kind of better than the zoos you may have at home. You get outdoor viewing, indoor viewing. You can go around the lobby and check them out. So that's a really cool thing. You get a lot of great picture opportunities there too. So bring your camera next time you go. And my last free thing to do at Walt Disney World is, and if you've listened to the show, you are not going to be surprised at all by this. It is Yeehaw Bob Jackson's show over at the River Roost Lounge at Port Orleans Riverside. It is an awesome free show for all ages. Anyone will have a great time. Kids, parents, grandparents, everyone will have so much fun. I've never seen a guy with more energy than Bob, so get over there on your next trip. Check out his show. You'll have a blast. All right, so that's going to do it for this week's Walt Disney World Word of the Week. Thank you again for listening. It's always, always, always greatly appreciated. And thank you again for hanging in with me with my voice sounding like it does. I'm hoping by the next podcast that I record, it'll sound a lot better. I really hope you enjoyed this week's Word of the Week episode, just like I hope you enjoy every episode that I put out there. And all I ask, if you did enjoy the show, please share it with someone. There's that one person in your life that you thought of when you first started listening to this. That one person that loves free things more than anyone else you know. Tell them about this podcast. Look, that person and pretty much everyone loves free stuff. So there's a lot of free stuff you can do in Walt Disney World. And just remember, there will be a new Ear to There podcast each and every Monday morning. And the new Walt Disney World Word of the Week podcast each and every Wednesday morning. So until next week, thank you so much again for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.